Alright, welcome back everybody. For those of you who found this video from the title, thank you for joining us. I'm going to try and make a 15-minute video or less, for real. I want to talk about choosing, not even choosing, building your first lockpick kit. Excuse me. So, there's plenty of companies out there. There's Sparrows, there's Southward, yada 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 yada. No disrespect to any of them. I've tried them. I personally only prefer one company. When it comes to regular locks, we're not going over dimple picks and all that. This is just for pin tumbler locks. You know, your standard hooks, brakes, all that. So I'm not leading you guys on if you're new, and I'm not saying this is the only company that's good. This is a very good company. Most people highly recommend it and use it. If they don't recommend it, a lot of people know of it. Very few people. There's a lot more positive than there's negative. There's always going to be somebody complaining, but out of all the companies I've tried, I've been happiest with this. Almost every video I watch on the internet has this company is the hook pick that they're using, whatever hook pick, whatever the tool is. You know, I keep saying hook because that's what I'm thinking of, but whatever pick that they're using is this particular brand company. So we're going to be talking about Peterson picks. The website is thinkpeterson.com. thinkpeterson.com. I've very what am I trying to say? I have very much grown to these picks in the last 4 or 5 months now. I've tried Sparrows, not very happy there. You can definitely check them out. That YouTube, some of their kits and all that good stuff. It's just not even. I'm not gonna waste the time talking about it because Peterson is my best bet. So what I'm gonna try and go over in this video is how you can, cheaply get good quality. I mean, you can't really sacrifice the price too much because you get what you pay for. But Peterson has an alternative, which I think is very great. So that's why I also chose this. And I see them used all the time, all over YouTube videos. Not saying that's the only pick used. I see plenty of Sparrows and whatnot. I'm not endorsed. I'm not getting paid. Obviously, I don't. Peterson has no idea except when he sees that I made a purchase from him. Oh hey, there's another customer. That's it. So it's just, this is what I honestly feel I need to talk about because I have the most knowledge on any of the companies. This is the only one I really have knowledge about because it's the only one I use, plain and simple. So we're gonna go over a couple things. Just a couple things about his picks. So we'll start with that. But then we're gonna lead into a good setup for a beginner, and the different ways you can go about getting that set up cheaply. Or the minimum to start with to see if you like it and dabble without spending $100 on one pick kit, lock pick kit, or whatever. So. And that's the other thing. We're not going to be talking about kits. We're going to be individually buying picks, hypothetically, to give you the cost of it and build your kit that way. So this is like build a lockpick kit. I'm going to tell you what I think I recommend you putting in your first kit, and as you progress in your lockpicking, hobby, adventure, whatever you want to call it, you will start to really have an understanding of what you like. You may be like, Derek was wrong about this and that, but I really do like this, and expand off of that because like a lot of picks, for instance, like the hook, have a lot of variations, like different sizes, ends to it, shorten, long, make it longer to help get different, cuts, in and out of the lock and all that good stuff. So that's how I hope this video is going to impact you. And hopefully it helps put you, at a peace of mind of picking a good, a good company. So Peterson offers two types of what's the word I'm looking for? Is I guess steel, metal, So don't pay attention to anything but this tip, right? So there's two types of tips. He offers government steel, which is supposed to be his stronger, more durable steel. But it's also more expensive, and I'm going to show you that right here. So this pick uses his government steel. Alright, that's what it looks like. Let me go ahead and zoom in. This is going to be a more zoomed up video just to really show you. Alright, So here is what government steel is supposed to look like. That is what one of the steels, or I don't want to call it steel, it's one of the materials, there we go, that he offers. Now, with the government steel, there's two price ranges. You have $8 for any type, don't worry about the design of the pick, if it's a hook, if it's a rake, whatever. If it's government steel and you want it cheaper than the more expensive version, then you're going to have to go with these right here, which are plastic handles. I know it's zoomed in, it's not shown it all. I'm trying to show you what the handle really looks like up close. So this is a plastic handle on a government steel, end material on it. They're nice, They run $8. You could get 25 thousandths of an inch thick, 18 thousandths of an inch thick, 15 thousandths of an inch thick, in government steel with plastic handles. So I'm trying to think how I really want to say this. I personally do not prefer the government steel, and that's because there's a cheaper alternative that I think, in my personal opinion, that they're both equal. But we'll get into that in a second. So then he offers another version of the government, not another version of the steel, or the government steel itself, it's the same material, but he offers rubber handles, which I don't have, because they're $15 per pick. I don't need a rubber handle for $15. These plastic, they're actually nylon handles, but they're pretty comfortable. I have no complaints whatsoever about them, and a lot of people don't. So think of that price. This is $8, and this is for the government steel. So you can throw rubber on there, and the price goes up almost double, 15. It's $1 off of being doubled. It's not worth it for me. The only reason I even have this is because, sadly, the cheapest version only comes in one thickness, and that's 25 thousandths of an inch, which is great for the majority of locks. I only got 2 picks that are in 18 thousandths, and that's for locks that I really don't even need it for. I just got it just to see if it'd help, which it does a little bit. So you're gonna be good with the 25 thousandths. It's gonna depend on the locks you're gonna start picking after a while to determine if you're gonna need 18 thousandths, or 15 thousandths, and then whatever your desired pick is, if it's a hook, diamond, whatever you think you're gonna need. So don't worry about the thickness, because we're just starting out. This is for beginners. So let's recap real quick. Government steel, 2 versions. Plastic handle, $8 for any size, thickness, and any tip. If it's a rake, if it's a diamond, if it's a hook, it's $8 flat. Same thing. The rubber handles, same exact thing. All 3 thicknesses from 15 thousandths, 18 thousandths to 25 thousandths of an inch thick. And same thing with the different tips on the picks. It's $15 flat. Now, I know that's expensive. Even $8, if you think about it, if you wanted to get 3 picks, that's $20 right there. That's kind of high for some people. But that's okay. He came out with a cheaper version, which is carbon spring steel, not government steel. Now we're talking about the cheaper picks. It still uses the same nylon handles. Okay, so the handles don't change. You can't get them in rubber. It's only one type of handle, nylon handles, just like the first one we showed you for $8. But this uses carbon spring steel. So now let's go ahead and show you what that looks like. Let me show you brand new, actually. Let's just try and give you the best perspective possible. And I'll go over what this bag is. This bag is in 1 second. Okay, so we have 2 hooks here. One's bigger than the other because it's a different type. The top one's called an overreach hook. It's just longer. It's identical to the bottom. It's just it's supposed to be a little longer. So the top is the carbon spring steel, and the bottom, that is our government steel. Honestly, if you look at them side by side, do they look different? To me, no. I honestly didn't even, I keep forgetting that this is government steel, the purple handle one, because when I use it, I don't notice the difference. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay the extra $5 when the carbon spring steel, which is the gray handle, which is the cheaper pick, works fine. So That's just like a side by side. I mean, I really can't examine it more than that because you have to pick, you know, you have to actually pick locks to notice more difference. But look at that, they're identical looking. Not saying that it's not government steel. It is. It's just personally, I was told a long time ago, go with the cheaper because picks break. Ultimately, picks break. Especially if you're new, you're gonna be heavy-handed going in a lock, trying to, you know, pick a lock, and you're in there until you understand a lot of the ins and outs of lock picking. Trust me, you're gonna break them until you get more experienced. It's fine. Even when you're experienced like me, you still break them. They still bend. It's metal. It's malleable. It's going to have wear and tear. So my perspective is, this bag, this is all backups. This is everything I use daily. They're all different. Every single pick in here has a different purpose. Like, there's not a duplicate. The duplicates are here. When one of my main ones break, like if my diamond, this is the only one that I have in here. Like I said, everything in here is individual, it's unique. All the backups are in here. This one breaks, oh, alright, they're cheap. I ordered tons of them. This is just one of my extra bags. You know, there's a decent amount of picks in there. Oh, okay, so I broke my diamond. Let me get out a new diamond, sand it up, clean it up, boom. Now I'm good to go. So, that is one of my biggest reasons that I'm going to go ahead and tell you to get the three. This is only $3. If I haven't said that, the carbon spring steel is only $3. The only downside is that it doesn't, not all picks like are available. The majority of picks that you're gonna need are available in the carbon spring steel, and he is constantly adding, you know, other picks like the styles. Like this is a newer type. This is a C6. It's like a cycloid. What is it called? Sine quad. This is called sine quad. And it just came on the site like 2 weeks ago, and it, you know, I was only able to get it for $8 minimum, and now I'm able to get it for $3. So for that price difference, I almost got 3 of them for the price I would pay for one in the government steel. And I have no problems with this carbon spring steel. Yeah, they break. Like I said, it's malleable. It's going to wear and tear, especially when you're new. I promise you, try the $3, the carbon spring steel. The only downside, like I said, there's two. It's not every type of pick. Like I said, these were just added. I can't think of everything that's not available in carbon spring. There's 2 pages worth of picks, so there's a lot to choose from. And the only other downside besides that is the thickness. It's only 25 thousandths of an inch. But, like I said, for the majority of locks I pick, I very rarely use anything thinner than 25 thousandths. And I'm picking Medcos and all these other locks. I just have these just in case, because now I'm at that point where I know, hey, you know, let's start grabbing a couple, but I don't need a lot. So if you're just starting to pick out, this is fine. By the time it comes to that being a problem of, hey, do I need a thinner pick, you'll have enough knowledge from, you know, involving. You'll ultimately know best what you're gonna need. This is just like a recommended guide setup. So, recap. I recommend the $3 picks. If you go on his website, thinkpeterson.com, go to individual picks, and we're gonna build your own kit, because you really don't need all these extra things that you may not use. Tension wrenches, we'll get into that because you can make your own, but you know, I'm gonna recommend you buy certain ones also in a second. So, you know, we've gone over the quality. The quality is great. I have no complaints with these. Yeah, they break, like I said, but these are broken too, you know? So, for $15, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I could get 5. I could get 5 of these picks, right? For the price I would pay for one government steel with a rubber handle. That's eventually going to break or bend or have wear and tear. So, I like to have plenty of extra because they're so cheap. Every week I spend $20, $30. This order happened to beat my last order. Not this. This is a good little bit right here. But I'll spend like $30 a week. And you know, which picks I use the most, I order frequently. But I always try and have at least like 5 or 6 of every type of pick. That way, I'm not always, you know, running out. And when they break, like I said, I have a whole bag. And I know there's like 5 of everything in here. In just this bag, plus the other 2 bags I have. But so it's cheap that you can have stock. So if a pick breaks, oh, now you have to order it, pay shipping, and wait, you know, for a couple days for it to get here. So I really recommend Peterson's carbon spring steel. If you just go check out his website, I'm going to just zoom in on it real quick here. That is what the homepage will look like. These, like I said, were just added to the carbon spring. That is the section I'm on right now. He has plenty of things to choose from. I know it's not zoomed in. It's just to give me an idea, like, hey, there's 2 pages worth, and, you know, there's pretty much everything you're going to need for a while. And I got to log back in, but it's alright. For a while until you really start getting into advanced things. So people are at the point now, okay, cool. I'm going to take your advice. I'm not going to get the government steel. And I'm not trying to take business away from him. Try it. If you don't believe me, try it. I'm not trying to discourage it, but I'm trying to give you the cheaper alternative because everybody wants to know, hey, what's the best I can get for the cheapest? This is the best you're going to get for the cheapest without sacrificing quality. Because personally, I don't see the difference in the government steel. And I'm not knocking Peterson. I love everything about his stuff. I just haven't played enough around with it because of the price. And that's because when I tried these at first, they're more than good enough, you know. I had a multi-lock half picked with just one of his half diamonds, but I ended up needing special tools. It's just the point, you know. I used this half diamond to pick an American lock in 30 seconds. I have the video of it. I did that with a $3 tool. Once you know how to pick locks and understand it, you know, you can be light-handed. So I'm just trying to tell you, it's really worth investing into something. You know, you could buy one, you know, buy a regular hook of all 3 and then see which one, you know, do like a what's it called, like a science study thing, you know. All right, I'm using them all, you know, pick the same lock with each one, and then every day do the same thing. Pick that same lock 3 times, but 1 time with each pick, and see which one lasts the longest and whatnot. You know, if you're really that worried about it, I promise you the carbon spring steel is great if you're trying to be cheaper. If you want the government steel, or you're like, oh yeah, that's, you know, some people like me, I was like that. I'm like, ooh, that's the best, I want it. But then I realized, like, hey, I can have so many extras, and that'll save me money that I could put into locks, because hey, locks ain't cheap once you start getting into Medcos and whatnot, you know, ASSAs and Schlage Primuses and all that. I can't find them for $20 like I can Americans and whatnot, $10. So, alright, so real quick before we make this forever long, I'm sorry it is only Peterson. I just really recommend his products. We're going to get into tension wrenches first. So building your own pick kit, right? Instead of buying a 30, 50, 70, whatever the amount is kit from a website, always check and see if they have individual picks. Even if you don't decide to go with Peterson's picks, do individual, because you can build it. The principle is the same between all companies. You know, they pretty much have the majority of the same type of picks. I mean, they all kind of have like maybe a unique pick that's unique to their company, but hey, like a hook is a hook. You can get it from any company. It's just which company style do you prefer and material. But tension wrenches, the only tension wrench I recommend you buying is Peterson has 2 type of pry bars that I really like. A 50,000ths of an inch thick, which you can see is really thick. That is great for, these are for top of the keyway mostly. You can use them bottom of the keyway. I've seen people do it, but they work really great for trying to find a lock that I could put it in real quick. Hold on guys, hold on. You know, hopefully this is okay. So here's a little Schlage Morris cylinder, right? 50,000s. We're talking about top of the keyway. Bottom of the keyway, you can make your own or buy them really cheap on his website. I think they're like $1 or $2. But top of the keyway goes in like this, and he has a 50,000ths and a 40,000ths. And that covers pretty much all my needs if I have to pick top of the keyway. He does offer bottom of the keyway tensioners. You know, hey, I think they are only like $1 or $2. Order some. You know, if you don't have any old windshield wipers around. If you do have old windshield wipers, rip that rubber off, and if you want, I can make a video. But you'll get a long straight piece of, you know, whatever the type of metal that is in there. You get some snips, snip it, you know, to your desired length. These 2 are homemade. They're just different thicknesses because they were from different windshield wipers, and you know, however long you want the tip to be, that's your personal preference. Bend it, and then if you want this fancy little twist, all I did was I put it in the straight part of a lock, you know, because it wasn't bent. You do this part first, and when the metal's in, you know, say this was actually inserted in here, then I just take my pliers like this and just twist it around, holding it very tight, and it'll put a nice little twist in it. I mean, I can make a video. It's real quick. I've never had to even make another one of these. I have one of each size, and these are my go-to for bottom, you know. I have a little pile here of ones that came with kits and all that, and I don't really use them ever, except top of the keyway, like those 2 pry bars. They're kind of pricey on his site. I think they're $10 a piece, but they're worth it. Those are really highly worth it. I've seen ones on other sites like Sparrows. I'm just throwing theirs out there, and that's the problem, is they're very thin, but they have come in handy for more restricted keyways, and you get 5 for $12 on their site, so that's the only plus. So to keep this thing from being forever long, a great start for anybody new, I would recommend going to Peterson, going under the individual pick section. The carbon spring steel, which is electroless, nickel plated. It has some electroless. What does it say? Electrolyte, electroless. I don't want to sound like a complete idiot for you guys. It just says plated spring steel handles, or plated spring steel. So I think it's electroless plated spring carbon spring steel. But anyway, $3. I would recommend, you know, if you want to do like under $30, that'd be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. It's about $8 shipping. It might come to like 32 with shipping, but you can get 7 picks for $21, or 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So for $21 before tax and shipping, you can have 7 picks in your cart. That's a great start kit, you know, that's a great starting point. And I'll tell you what I think you should, you know, go ahead and put in there. Because with shipping and taxes, probably be like $8, $9 more. So it's like $32, right? The cheap kits on Amazon sell anywhere from $15 to $20. So why not pay the extra 10, 12 bucks for quality? So you're asking, what should I put in my thing since I'm going to be building my kit? Well, if you're really into this, you know, if you really want to get into the hobby of lockpicking, rakes are fun. It's a good thing, that definitely for a beginner to understand the fundamentals. But like where I'm at now, I very rarely buy rakes because I don't use them. I want them in my, like, this is, like I said, was new on the $3 section, or the carbon spring steel. It's been on his website for like a month or so now, maybe 2 months on the government steel. But I wasn't that concerned with it because I don't, you know, it is a form of a rake, and I don't need that at this point. I like the single pin pick, you know, with a hook. So I definitely will recommend one rake. The rake that there's 2 rakes I think you should go back and forth on. The first one is your just plain normal city rake, or L rake, which I don't have it in Peterson's because I haven't even ordered one yet, but I have another one from another company. That's what it's going to look like though. He has multiple versions of this. Just get the original L, or it could be called city rake also. I would recommend one of those and a Bogota, which is like a triple peak looking rake. I don't have one because, again, I don't really prefer rakes, but raking is a good thing to have in your arsenal as a beginner. But definitely get a city rake if you're a beginner, and learn raking, learn those techniques, Google it on YouTube, because I don't have that much time to try and put it all in this video. So I'll only recommend one rake, but out of that one rake, I would either say, like I said, the city L rake. It could be called L rake or city rake, or the Bogota, which I don't have to show you, but it's like it looks like a 3 peak, or it looks like an M, I think. I don't want to give you false information. Google Bogota. And then I recommend a regular short hook from Peterson. So that would be this right here. So I would say after your L rake, I would have as my second pick a regular hook one short hook. Remember, these are all $3. This is really great to learn single pin picking. Most picks that I have are just hooks, so that's what I recommend. So let's say you went with the L rake, then you have a hook one. I know it's gonna sound a little weird, but I definitely recommend getting the overreach hook. It's identical to the hook I just showed you, the short hook, but it's a little longer in length, and I I like it. I know it's pretty much identical, but trust me, if you're ordering 7 picks, it's good to have one of each. So that's 3. So now we still have 4 more picks. So everybody's thinking, what's it gonna tell me next? I recommend a half diamond. And I was always against these. I did not like these until recently. I picked an American lock in about 30 seconds, the 1100 with this. This can be, I like to use it for single pin picking. When I'm in there looking for my binding pin, I pull it back and then I'll get a stop and then I go up. It can be used for raking. It can be used for like a kinetic attack. It's a very versatile tool. So that's what the tip looks like. It looks like half a diamond. So I would say that's a good 4th pick. Let's see. From Peterson again, I would recommend. Obviously, they're all from Peterson. I would recommend this. This is called a offset diamond, and it's pretty much like that half diamond I just showed you, but like a hybrid with a hook. It's hooked at the end, which is really great if you have like a high pin hiding behind you have a long pin blocking a really high cut pin in the back of the lock, and you don't want to, it helps get behind those without interfering with the pins in front of it. That's a good start. 5 picks, so let's go ahead and do 2 more. Like I said, 7 picks for $3 would be $21. Now, at this point, everything except this last pick I'm going to show you, it's hard because, a couple picks I might show you, you might not like at all. But if I can find the next one I want to show you. Where are you at? Here it is. This is exclusive to Peterson. It's called a Peterson gem. So it almost looks like a regular hook, but you see how it looks at the end, in case you forget and you're really new. You're like, that looks identical. See how the ends are formed different? Trust me, the Peterson gem on the bottom here definitely helps. Definitely helps. It's a go-to pick for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is obviously not Peterson's pick, but he sells the exact same tip. It's a city rake is a city rake. It's just, like I said, I just haven't ordered rakes because I don't really care for them. But as a beginner, I definitely was very curious, and I definitely highly recommend you to definitely understand how they work. It's just a must. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one more pick I would say would be a good start. Would be. See, I like the single pin pick because it's like a mechanical puzzle almost to me. So, and this is tough because I don't, know exactly what everybody's going to be picking. And it comes down between these last 2 picks that I really would like to show. It's either going to be a hook number 3, or I don't know, I have one in here. Okay, we'll go with this. We're going to go with this. This is called hook 4. Peterson has like hook number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they all look different. This is also very good for getting in the very back of a lock and also for higher cut pins, especially for European cylinders, but I've found lots of use for it. So if I had to recommend a kit to somebody, my personal preference, not saying this is what you had to get, that would be my good start right there. So that's $21 right there. And it kind of gives you a little bit of everything. You got one rake. You got a half diamond, which can act as a rake. It can act as a couple of different things. You got an overreach hook. You got a regular hook. You got your hook number 4, which is very good for higher cut pins. The half diamond can act like the diamond. You can do some of the same things with it, but it has that extra angle on it, so it's more versatile. The Peterson gem, I really would recommend this because it gives you definitely great couple options to attack locks with. Like I said, rakes, there's plenty of different styles of rakes. I don't like flooding kits with them because if you're getting into it as a hobby, there's no fun or enjoyment in breaking a lock. Once you understand how it works, and you've raked a few like masters open just to understand how it works, then good. That's why I had to put the city rake in there, because it's a must for a beginner to learn. I feel like you have to have all the principles down. But as you progress, you'll start realizing, hey, I don't want that, let me put in, the hook number 3 that I didn't show you is just not as deep as the hook 4. It's also great for high cut pins, I promise. It doesn't look like much. I fell in love with it. So, but that's $21 right there. You add $8 on for shipping. It's about $30. If you want to buy 2 or 3 tension wrenches from him for $1.50 a piece, I think they are. That's under $35. You have a nice, efficient setup. It's not bad. Now, I know a lot of people may watch this and say, hey, I don't like Peterson. Well, do the same concept with whatever company you want. Because in most places, Sparrows, I know, does it. I don't know about Southward, but I know Sparrows does individual picks. Because that's how I've never bought a pick kit once I got past my Amazon purchase. You know, that was just to see if I wanted to get into it. So, people are definitely going to disagree with this setup here. And you might too eventually. I just personally recommend this because that's pretty much what I use. Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna have to add one more. Let me take away the hook 4. I knew there was one I was forgetting. This is called an S-rake. Now, definitely just scratch that hook number 4 because we're not gonna edit this. This is raw on real life, right? Now it's called a S-rake or a snake rake, but you can use it as a single pin pick and it is excellent. Or you can use it as a rake, you know, like that. But I use it for single pin picking, definitely up in high cuts. And I know a couple of these I said are good for high cuts, but they're good for just picking in general too. So yes, scratch that hook number 4. Save that for once you get into more advanced locks. I really like this on American locks. Like if you watch one of my videos, I picked one with a half diamond and I actually picked a 5200 with just this. So yes, let's recap before this becomes any longer. A L/city rake, an overreach hook, a half diamond hook. What are they called? Offset diamond or something like that. Hooked diamond. I forget what the name is. Hooked diamond. A Peterson gem, a regular hook number 1, and then a snake rake or S rake. I believe for $21 that's a great start. And you'll, like I said, you're gonna start realizing what works for you. You may say, hey, I don't want, well, everybody really pretty much likes hooks. You might be like, hey, you know what? I don't like the half diamond. I'm going to try whatever else he said or something else that you said, and put it there. So tension wrenches, you can make them in. They're not hard. You can make them out of windshield wiper inserts. There's plenty of videos. I can make a video. Here's a very simple one. I took the metal and bent it. Literally, that's it. What, 3 seconds worth of work? If that, tear the old rubber off, which peels right off. Snip it to your desired length, bend it to your desired length, and boom. Now, I have a tension wrench. Obviously, that's too big for this lock, but it's the principle that you can make it. So, I hope this was helpful. I know it was mostly about Peterson, all about Peterson. I recommend the $3 carbon spring steel. I just really do. Go for your heart's desire if you want to spend more money on government steel. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying more for a budget, more for trying to be cheap, but also still have quality. I have not been disappointed with any of my picks. Hence, why I have a whole bag of picks here that, haven't even been touched because I know when my picks break, that's what I'm going to want to replace it with. So, alright, 35 minutes is long enough to just talk about Peterson. I'm sorry, I'm passionate about my hobby. I hope this helps somebody. If you disagree with what I recommend, then say it nicely in the comments. You don't gotta be a dick about it, because whatever, just recommend. Say, hey, point something out to me, be like, hey, maybe instead of that, sell your own setup. Give people ideas. That's what it's about. Informed decisions. That way they could be like, okay, they can read through X amount of comments and be like, well, I see this one's in almost everybody's, and then they may have to figure out 1 or 2 for themselves. That it's like a toss-up because some people recommend it, some don't. But I recommend that personally. My experience, that's my opinion. But $21, $8 shipping. Get a couple tension wrenches from him without the pry bars. Like I said, those little top of the keyway pry bars are $10. They're definitely worth it, but you don't have to get them right now. So, alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope that helps. Any questions, if you need anything else more explained, please let me know. 35 minutes is long, but I feel like I could still go on about it to be more thorough. Especially if you don't know how these work. That's what's killing me inside, but that could be another video if you guys want. But yeah, that's what I recommend. Peterson picks, go with the carbon spring steel if you're on a budget. If not, hey, try the government steel. Definitely give this lineup a try. Like I said, replace that last hook 4 with a snake S-rake. I know I did that so late in the video because I totally forgot about it. It's awesome. These are all awesome tools. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the comments. Anything you know need explained more, just my email's in the description if you don't want to leave a comment. Thanks for watching, guys.